Hey, you know what? Maybe like you, I've had thousands of problems in my life, of which most of them never happened. Richard Cameron here, straight from Camp Cameron. You know me as Coach Richard, Richard Cameron, Dick. I don't care, just as long as you know me a little bit. And even that isn't that important, as much as it's important to know yourself. Anyways, I've had most of I've had thousands of problems in my life, most of which never happened. Not an original from me, but from a very wise man by the name of Mark Twain. And that comes to that whole thing of which I'll say over and over again, the most powerful reproductive organ known to mankind in the body that we have is our mind. Got it? That's the thing that reproduces things over and over and over and over and over again. What we think about, we bring about, or what we think about, we fear about. It's so true, it isn't funny. And you know it. This isn't a revelation for you. Perhaps, though, sometimes you think that you're unique in this whole area. But what happens in this? I mean, literally, what happens in this whole thing of the mind reproductive sort of deal is like a virus. I call them mind viruses. You think this COVID thing is bad? More dreams, more ambition, more objectives have been killed, absolutely killed, by stinking thinking. Okay, that's it. Words like can't. Man, you got to get things like that. Got to. I don't even know if I like that. But anyways, words like that will absolutely pollute and destroy your mind. Can't is really, really destructive. How about this other one that seems to be floating around in the 50-year-old sort of crowd, and my crowd in the 60s, or even in the 40s, and sometimes in the 30s, because now it's becoming so accepted, something that's there, something that people, talk about, and they're around, and they commiserate, and they say, oh, I understand, or that. There's another term. Absolutely bullshit. Ready? Burned out. I'm just burned out. Really? Burned out? Come on. You're not burned out. You've just settled and satisfied and sitting there saying, well, what am I going to do? That's what I am. That's what I do. That's not burned out. That's being slothful in the direction of your life. You have more ideas. You have more ambition. You have more drive. You have more destiny, greater destiny, to ever settle for the term of being, quote, burned out. Oh, yeah, you might have put yourself in a situation, that mandates and dictates that you stay in a particular role because of, well, let's face it, because of things like debt, right? Children's future, debt like mortgages and cars and ongoing, I'll call it the residual bills of all your utilities, all your insurances, all your loans, all your credit card bills, all those sorts of things that go on. They're due like every month. Got something happen every month, and we start to take something that can be a tool and we turn it into something that makes you a tool, okay? Makes you a tool. Me too. I mean, when I realized this back, I don't know, maybe 15, 18 years ago, when I realized that so much of the trials and tribulations of life comes back to what we're putting through our mind, and what we're putting through our mind is something that's a little more destructive than instead of something that's a little more constructive, that instead of building, we're tearing down our future, that we're using, as I said, words like can't and burnout and terms like that doesn't work or whatever else is on that side of life. It really, what it does is turn around and just limits about where you are today, because that's sort of how you got there. But where you're going to go cannot rely on those same sort of thoughts or mind viruses that are just perpetually reinforced by the surroundings. I go from the standpoint from the messengers of mediocrity, right, to the folks that are well-meaning most times, right? That can be friends and family, well-meaning, but they just have never been there. They've never got there. In fact, their mind viruses get projected onto you. Just wish you could have a mind mask, right? Like walking around so many places here. People got the mask on, right? Right? Because to protect, not themselves, but to protect other people from their viruses. Well, guess what? They have mind viruses that get and have been projected on you for a long, 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 long time. And unless you're hanging out around the folks that actually have discovered what I call, quote, freedom, what I mean by freedom is the ability to come and go and do the things in which people desire to do rather than the things that they have to do. They might not be there yet, but if they're working on it and they're building towards it and they're excited about it, they might be struggling through it, okay? Because nothing that gives you total freedom, of action is going to be easy to do, but that's not the point, is it? Don't wish it was easier, just wish you were better. That's the thing, right? Don't wish it comes about. Okay, it doesn't just come about. Okay, it's improving skills and getting around the right groups of people and having the right vehicle, the right tools to achieve the things you want to do. And everybody knows, everybody knows you'll never have that vehicle from your 9-to-5 job. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. I don't care if you're a business owner and you're going to turn the key and open up that retail shop each and every day because it depends on you. That doesn't provide freedom. No. But somebody thought maybe it might at one point until they start to reevaluate. But anyways, that's a topic for another day. But the biggest reproductive organ, right here. Okay? That 3 pounds of gray mush that sits up here in this skull, that this 190-pound organism is built to support that. Got it? 9 trillion cells and somewhere around 20-30 trillion bacteria, positive bacteria, right, are all working together in synergy and in an autonomic system and those sorts of things to support this 3 pounds. What are you doing to support that 3 pounds? Is that the thing in which you fill, right, with messages and actions, pursuing excellence? Or is it the latest Dancing with the Stars or the latest Netflix binge watching or whatever else that's happening there? That's not to mean you don't have some recreation and things that way, but that's, again, a topic for another day. So yeah, the greatest reproductive organ here. What you think about, you bring about. And you and I both know that you can't think about 2 things at the same time. You can't, it doesn't work that way. Okay, so that's something else we'll talk about another time. But anyways, I hope this has helped a little bit, give you a little bit of perspective and understand and realize, okay, that there are people in the marketplace of ideas that can help you move from a standpoint, and I'll just call it, of desperation to destiny. And the whole point being, and where it all starts, is you decide that that is the nature of the people and the processes that you're going to deal with to start to move forward. It doesn't happen overnight, but by God, it happens. Okay, everybody. That's it from Camp Cameron. The last day of June, Canada Day tomorrow. I'll see you later. I won't see you. You might see me later, though. All right, take care. Be well. Bye-bye.